Ishmael obeyed Abraham to be killed. No father today will make such a request for fear of being killed by the son, rather. Welcome to section 13. We're done with, welcome to chapter 13. We're done with chapter 12. An apology again. I began the last by saying we are going to section 12 of chapter 12 of the Surah Al-Quran. That was wrong. I should have said we are going to section 12 of chapter 12 of the Quran. So if you guys bear with me, trying to repeat the whole video might even make me make worse mistakes. So my knees are down for you. Well, chapter 13. First, the introduction. Let's go. Let me show you to viewers the introduction. Like I said before, the original cover was black. It got worn off and it was replaced by a kind printer with the red cover. In case people would like to see that version of the Quran. Okay, introduction. The chronological place of this surah and the general argument of Surah 10 to 17 has been described in the introduction to Surah 10. Footstep. The special argument of this surah deals with the aspect of God's revelation of himself to man and his dealing with him man, which is concerned with certain contrasts which are here pointed out. There is the revelation of the prophets, which comes in spoken words adapted to languages of the various men and groups of men to whom it comes. Semicolon. And there is a parallel revelation or signs in the constant laws of external nature, on this earth and in the visible heavens and in the visible heavens, maybe the skies. There is the contrast between recurring life and death already in the external world. Let's see. Let me repeat that. There is the contrast between recurring life and death already in the external world. Yes. Colon. Why should men disbelieve in the life after death? Why should men disbelieve in the life after death? That's a question. They mock at the idea of punishment because it is deferred. God doesn't just punish you. You steal somebody's item, immediately your hand is chopped off by an invisible force. That's what people expect. You grab, the hand is chopped off by an invisible force. That's what men expect God to do. But no, he doesn't do it. So, there is let me see. They mock at the idea of punishment because it is deferred. But can they not see God's power and glory in thunder and forces of nature? Yes, when thunder comes, boom, we all freeze in fear. Yes, whoever you are, can you not see the signs that God can do that to anybody who steals, because it is deferred. But can they not see God's power and glory in thunder and the forces of nature? All creation praises him God. It is the good that endures and the evil that is swept away like froth or scum. Scum, SCUM. It's not the scam in the computer that we see, the scam that we see in the internet. And scam, SCUM. Not only in miracles, but in the normal working of the world, are shown God's power and mercy. Even here, there are signs of the working of the law, plot or plan as men will. Plot or plan as men will. It is God's will that must prevail. MashaAllah, what God wills, that must prevail. This is illustrated in Joseph's story in the preceding surah. That's Joseph's story in the preceding surah. Where is it? Yes, good stuff. Then we go to summary. The book of Revelation is true and is confirmed by science, SIGN, science, and is confirmed by science to be seen in visible nature. God, who created such mighty forces in outer nature, can raise up man again after death. God's knowledge is all-compassing. God's knowledge is all-compassing, So are his power and goodness. Chapter 13, 1 to 18. Chapter 13, 1 to 18. Okay, paragraph. The righteous seek the pleasure of God and find peace. The evil ones break this law. Cavil and dispute. Cavil spelled Cavil. Cavil and dispute, and reject faith. The wrath of God will take them unawares, baktatan, suddenly. Will take them unawares, baktatan. But in his own good time, 13, 19 to 31. So whatever you do, he doesn't do things baktatan at once, there and there, no. He will do it at his own good time. And we can find this in ayahs 19 to 31 when we get there. So viewers, take note. So was it with prophets before. That's, I suppose, before Muhammad. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So was it with prophets before. They were mocked, but the mockers were destroyed, while the righteous rejoiced and were established. While the righteous rejoiced and were established. Psalm 13, that's where we are going. You can find that in Psalm 32 to Psalm 43. So viewers, take note. Introduction finished. Or introduction finished with. Now we go to Psalm 1. Alif, Lam, Mim, Ra. Tilka ayatul kitab. Tilka ayatul kitab. These are the verses of the book. Wallazi unzila ilayka min rabbika al-haq. That which hath been revealed unto thee from thy Lord Rebecca, bil-haq, in truth, or in the truth. ولكن أكثر الناس لا يؤمنون ولكن أكثر الناس لا يؤمنون ولكن أكثر الناس لا يؤمنون. But most men believe not. La yu'minun, believe not. Actually, nas, most men do believe not. Sorry. Notes 1798 to Alif, Lam, Mim, and then 1799. And here, 1708. For abbreviated letters, generally see Appendix 1. Appendix 1, I don't know if you've read it. Anyway. Then, note 1799, verses. We are also being referred here to chapter 10, 1, sign 1. And that was note 1382. Now we go to sign 2. Allahu allazi rafa'a samawati wa bigairil amadin. Allahu allazi rafa'a samawati bigairil amadin. Tarawnaha bigairil amadi. Tarawnaha. God is He who raised the heavens without any pillars that you can see. Oh yeah, if you look up in the night, you see everything, especially as a child, even as a grown-up. Then you ask, what is holding these things up? What is holding the stars up? The moon, in the daytime the sun. And scientists have proven that when you are there to the moon, you look down and you see the earth as a globe, also hanging. What is holding them? Do we ask ourselves? So, here, Allah allazi rafa'a samawati bigairil amadin tarawnaha, that you cannot see. Thumma istawa ala arshihi. Thumma istawa ala arshihi. Then he established himself on his throne. There is commentary to read. In Pillars 2, there is commentary to read. Then he established himself on the throne, on his throne, ala arshi, on the throne, ala arshi. Wasahara sama, wasakara shamsi, wal kamara, wasahara wasahara ashamsa, wal kamara. He has subjected the sun and the moon, exclamation mark. He has subjected the sun and the moon, exclamation mark. Well, camera. Kullun tajri li ajlin musamma tulla. Kullun yajri li ajlin musamma. Each one runs its course for a term appointed. Yes, there is time for the sun to run its course for us to see. And there's also the time for the moon also to run its course for us to see. In a wider sense, we can also say that the two run their courses and for some time, and that time is longer till the end of the world. You can see it in either case, or you can see it in any of these two ways. Either for the short term when the day and night, or long term when the world comes to an end. Okay. Ajula Musamma, that's term appointed. Am I using the correct word? Yes, for time appointed, for term appointed. Ajula Musamma. Yudabirul al-amr yafsulul ayatin la'allakum bilika'il rabbikum tukinu. Yudabirul. He doeth regulate with the bureau, Amaro. He doeth regulate all affairs, Amaro. He doeth regulate all affairs, Amaro. With the bureau, Amaro. You fassilu al-ayat la'allakum bilikai rabbikum tuqinun. He doeth regulate all affairs, explaining, Yufasilu, explaining, Yufasilu, explaining the signs in detail, Yufasilu, explaining in detail the signs, al-ayat, al-ayat, la'allakum bilikai rabbikum tuqinun, that ye may believe with certainty, with certainty, with certainty, where is it? Tuqinun, 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 with certainty, tuqinun, with certainty, in the meeting of your Lord, likai rabbikum, in the meeting of your Lord. The verb comes here before the exchange over if is in Arabic. The verb normally comes earlier, in order that you believe. And there is commentary to that too. So we have commentaries 1880, 1801, 1802, 1803. In fact, 4 in 1. Let's go to 800. Let's go to 1800. Should we construe the clause that ye can see? Should we construe that clause to refer to pillars or to the heavens? I think both of them. You can neither see pillars holding them or the heavens themselves. Okay, you can see the heavens at least, the suns and the. Okay, so the commentator is asking, should we construe the clause that you can see to refer to pillars or to heavens? Either is admissible. Either is admissible. But I refer to the former, the pillars. You can't see the pillars holding them. I think I agree with him. But we can, but I prefer the former. So says the commentator. The heavens are supported on no pillars that you can see. You can see the heaven, but you cannot see the pillars. What we see is the blue vaults of heaven. But there are invisible forces or conditions created by God which should impress us with his power and glory. Of course, in our own sense, you see that they are up and we are down. But what is holding them? You can't. They are invisible forces. No matter how much science tries to explain them, law of gravity or whatnot, no matter how, you can't explain them fully. You can't explain this idea of invisible pillars fully. No. Okay. We go to 1801. It says compare chapter 3. That's a note. Compare chapter 3. Oh, compare chapter 10. I'm sorry. Compare chapter 10, ayah 3, sign 3. Compare chapter 10, sign 3, and note 1386. We must not think that anything came into being by itself or carries out its functions by itself. Science cannot explain this either. Okay, God is the creator from whom everything has its life and being, and through whom everything is maintained and supported, even though fixed laws are established for its regulation and government. Yes, the laws too we are not aware of. He made his laws. Be, and it is. Hold the heavens together and holds them together. Hold the earth together when you are on the moon and he holds it together for his regulation, established for its regulation and government. There are fixed laws. All right. The term appointed limits the duration of their functioning. Its ultimate return is to God. Like I said, that's at the end of the world. That's the time. As its beginning proceeded from God. We go to 1802. Compare 10:31. Compare chapter 10, sign 31 to note 1425. We've done that. So viewers can go back and see. Full stop. Where the laws of nature are fixed and everything runs according to its appointed course, the government and regulation behind it is still that of God. Nobody can explain that. There are laws that regulate their movements, and that only comes from God. Full stop. Where there is limited free will as a man, yet the ultimate source of man's faculties is God. There are certain things science can solve. You can think hard and solve. There are certain things you can never solve. Those who made the computer, they cannot tell their own future. You are there, some scientist is working on something, and all of a sudden he dies. But before dying, there is a warning from God. So he has to write down notes so that people can continue. So these are the limitations that God has placed on man. God cares for his creatures. He does not, as in the idea of polytheistic Greece, that's the country Greece, sit apart on Olympus, careless of his creatures. Let me repeat that. As in the idea of polytheistic Greece, sit apart on Olympus, careless of his creatures. So, of God's creatures. We go to 1803. Still to the same sign 2. One manifestation of his caring for his creatures, even where a limited amount of free will is granted for their development, is that he is careful to explain his signs both in nature and in express and detailed revelation through his messengers, lest man should have any doubts whether he has to return ultimately to his Lord or to his Lord and account for all his actions during the term appointed, ajilum musamma, the term appointed, when he was given some initiative by way of trial and preparation. Full stop. If man attends carefully to the signs, he should have no doubt whatsoever. If you obey the laws of God, you should have no doubt whatsoever. We go to sign 4. وفي الأرض قطع متجاورات, and in the earth are tracks, into brackets, diverse, are tracks neighboring, mutajawiratun. And in the earth, I think some present time we say earth. In proper English, we say on earth. And on earth are tracks neighboring, mutajawiratu. Wajannati min a'nabi. Wajannati min a'nabi. And gardens of vines. من نابي والزرع والنخيل والزرع والنخيل and fields sown with corn زرع fields sown with corn زرع والنخيل and palm trees والنخيل palm trees سنواتي وغير سنواتي and uh, palm trees growing out of single roots or otherwise single roots سنواتي وغير سنواتي growing out of single roots or otherwise سنواتي or غير سنواتي غير سنواتي is otherwise or otherwise سنواتي or غير سنواتي سنواتي or غير سنواتي يسقى بماء واحد يسقى بماء واحد watered with the same water watered by the same water يسقى بماء واحد watered with the same water يسقى بماء واحد ونفصل بعدها على بعد ونفصل ونفصل بعدها على بعد yet some of them we make more excellent than others we make more excellent than others fil ukulin to eat so some of them we make more excellent than others to eat fil ukle to eat fil ukle to eat إن في ذلك لآيات لقوم يعقلون إن في ذلك لآيات لقوم يعقلون Verily, in these things there are signs for those who understand. For those who understand. Behold, verily, in these things there are signs for those who understand. إن في ذلك لآيات signs لقوم for people who have understanding. One signs 1806 and 1807. Let's go there. 1806. Thus, growing out of single roots or otherwise, in inverted commas, in double inverted commas, here we saw growing out of single roots or otherwise. And the commentator is saying, does that qualify palm trees or vines? Does that qualify palm trees or vines? And corn as well? That's the question. Okay. The former construction is adopted by the classical commentators. So he's also talking of another commentator. So you see how knowledge is by classical commentators. This commentator is saying the former construction is adopted by the classical commentators, in which case the reference is to the fact either that two or more palm trees occasionally grow out of a single root, or that palm trees grow sometimes as odd trees, as odd trees, and sometimes as great thick clusters. sometimes as great thick clusters. Full stop. If the latter construction is adopted, the reference would be to taproot. The latter, let me go back. If the later construction is adopted, the reference, sorry, if the latter construction is adopted, the reference would be to the fact that date palm, into brackets, and palms generally, eh, date palms and some other plants arise out of a single tap root. Full stop. While the majority of trees arise out of a network of roots that spread out extensively. Full stop. Here is adaptation to soil. Here is adaptation to soil and water conditions. Dash, another sign or wonder of creation. We go to sign 107. We just finished sign 1, commentary 107. I'm sorry. We go to commentary 107. We just finished commentary 106. The date palm, the crops of food grains, and the grapevine are all fed by the same kind of water. Yet, how different the harvest which they yield. That's wonderful. So, every crop on earth is fed by water and the soil, and yet they produce different fruits, varieties of fruits, but fed by the same water. Do we think of this? Which different, and yet how different the harvest which they yield! Exclamation mark. And that applies to all vegetation. And that applies to all vegetation. Yes. The fruit or eatable produce may vary in shape, size, color, flavor, etc. in endless variety. In endless variety. Go to the market and see fruits. One kind in one basket, another kind here, another kind. So many varieties. But how were they watered? The same water, the same soil. Do we reflect? Do we reflect? So, in endless variety. We go to sign 5. We go to sign 5. And what does it say? وإن تعجب فعجب قولهم فعجب قولهم if thou doest marvel, into brackets, at their want of faith. If you marvel, is telling Muhammad, if thou doest marvel at their want of faith, فعجب قولهم, strange is their saying. So, two things. Their want of faith is one thing that will dazzle Muhammad, but even their words is also another kind of dazzle for him. Fataji, you should also wonder at their saying, at their strange saying. And what is it? Aiza kunna turaban inna lafi halkin jadidan. Halkin jadidan. And their saying is, when we are actually dust, actually is in brackets, when we are actually dust, shall we indeed then be in creation renewed? Should we be renewed again in creation? That's their saying. Huh? So they may not believe, but it's emphasized in their saying even more. جديدا أو جديد. Full stop. أولئك الذين كفروا بربهم. أولئك الذين كفروا بربهم. They are those who deny their lords. أولئك الذين كفروا بربهم. They are those who deny their lords. أولئك أولئك الأغلال في أعناقهم. أولئك الأغلال في أعناقهم. They are those around whose necks will be yokes, agnao, yokes of servitude. Ulaika al-agnalu, sorry, al-aglalu. Ulaika al-aglalu, yokes. Fi anakihim, around their necks. Around their necks. And their yokes of servitude. Servitude is in brackets. وأولئك أصحاب النار هم فيها خالدين. أولئك أصحاب النار هم فيها خالدون. They will be companions of the fire to dwell therein for I. Into brackets for I. I is spelled A-Y-E, in case I don't call it well. I don't think anybody uses that word today. It is the language of centuries back. Okay, commentary 1808 and 1809. We go to 1808. After seeing the signs in nature and the signs in revelation, it is indeed strange that people should deny their creator. So the word strange has come now. You marvel at their faith and you marvel at their words. It's still happening today. People speak as if there's no God. Okay. Full stop. But if they admit the signs of the Creator, who works marvels before their very eyes every day, they shouldn't. Why should they doubt that when they are reduced to dust, they can be raised up again? Why should they deny that when they are reduced to dust, they should be raised up again? It's a question. If when creation is possible, what difficulty can there be in accepting a renewed creation? If he created us from dust, why should we doubt that he can bring us to life again from dust? Okay. It becomes then a question of an obstinate and rebellious will. Obstinate and rebellious will. Obstinate will that cannot change. Will that we refuse to change. For which the punishment is described. We go to 1809 to the same sign 5. Aglal, that's yoke. Aglal. This is going to be explained now. Aglal, just use yoke. It's spelled here A-G-L-A, lengthened A, and then L. A-G-L, lengthened A, and then L. Aglal. Yokes of servitude. Yokes, into brackets again, of servitude. Compare chapter 7, sign 157, and note 1128 to read. Okay. The punishment may be conceived of in two stages immediately. Yokes of servitude to superstition. Yokes of servitude to superstition. Full stop. Falsehood, etc. as against the freedom as against the freedom in faith, and finally the fire which burns the very soul. Pardon me. The fire which burns the very soul. The fire which burns the very soul. We go to sign 6. We go to sign 6. ويستعجلونك ويستعجلونك بالسيئات قبل حسنة قبل حسنة. They ask thee to hasten on the evil in preference to good. وَيَسْتَعْجِلُونَكَ hasten. وَيَسْتَعْجِلُونَكَ They ask you to hasten on the evil on the evil in preference to good. يَسْتَعْجِلُونَكَ بِالسَّيِّئَاتِ قَبْلَ حَسَنَةٍ. They ask thee to hasten on the evil in preference to the good. وقد حلت من القبلهم وقد حلت من القبلهم المطلات المطلات yet have come to let me see. Yes, yet have come to pass before them, into brackets, many, before them, many exemplary punishments. Only they don't realize. Walakat halat have come to pass, min kablihim, before them, al-matlat, punishment, many punishments, exemplary punishment, many punishments like that. Mitlatul. Wa inna rabbakum, sorry, wa inna rabbaka, inna rabbaka lazu magfiratin. Inna rabbaka lazu magfiratin. Linnasi ala zulmihim. But verily, the Lord is full of forgiveness. Magfiratan, zulmafritan is full of forgiveness for mankind. Linnas, for their wrongdoing. Ala zulmihim. So only that God forgives us our wrongdoings, the minor ones, like taking your sister's money and watching her cry. Hey, somebody has taken my money. Then you'll be in a corner giggling. If you're gonna go giggle and change to yourself, I've taken it. You can go to hell. You see? So such crimes, such wrongdoings, He's Zul Magfiratan. He forgives us. Okay. The Magfiratan the Nas ala Zulmihim for their wrongdoings. Wa inna rabaka las shadidul ikab for mankind wrongdoing. And verily thy Lord is also in bracket, and verily thy Lord is also strict in punishment. So when he wants to punish, no one can stop him. The Almighty God. I don't know if there's any commentary to it. Maybe not. Let's see. Yes, there is 1810. So 1810, 1810. That's the commentary to it. Let's see. It's over page. It's over leaf, rather. 1810. The unbelievers, by way of, let me go down a bit to see. The unbelievers, by way of a limit, the unbelievers, by way of a taunt, say, if there is a punishment, let us, if there is a punishment, let us see it come down now. Let us see it come down now. If there is a punishment, let us see it come down now. The answer to it is threefold. One, why do you want to see the punishment rather than the mercy of God? Yeah. You do something and say you want the punishment now if there is one, but they are not thinking of the mercy of God. Why do you want to see the punishment rather than the mercy of God? Which is better? Then two, have you not heard heard in history of terrible punishments for evil? That's two. And have, as we should continue with two, and have you not before your very eyes seen examples of wickedness brought to book? Then we go to three. God works not only in justice and punishment, but also in mercy and forgiveness. God works not only in justice and punishment, but also in mercy and forgiveness. And mercy and forgiveness come first. So when you do something evil, it is His mercy that first comes. I remember the angels are always praying for us. We've done it here. When you do evil, the angels are always praying. When you decapitate somebody, the angels are still pleading on your behalf. For Ajido Misamba, give him some time. The angels are pleading in our black community. Oh, God, forgive him. Forgive him. The man is gone. The boy is gone, or whatever it is gone. He's coming to you, Lord. You know how to do this. So, God, forgive him. Forgive him. For the time being, Ajido Misamba. Uh, which is better. God works only on God works not only in justice, but also in mercy and forgiveness. And mercy and forgiveness come first. I think that's the end of the commentary. And that's this 1810, 1810. Okay, we go to sign 7. And sign 7 happens to be the last sign of the first section, section 1 of chapter 13 of the Holy Quran. And what does chapter 7 say? وَيَقُولُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا لَوْ لَا أُنزِلَ عَلَيْهِ آيَةٌ or لَا أُنزِلَ عَلَيْهِ آيَةٌ مِنْ رَبِّهِمْ or مِنْ رَبِّهِ sorry مِنْ رَبِّهِ آيَةٌ مِنْ رَبِّهِ. And the unbelievers, الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا, the unbelievers say, يَقُولُ, why is not a sign sent down to him from his Lord? Sent down to who? God. Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Why are the signs not sent to him from his God? Listen, we're not our God, not their God, but his God, his Lord. May Rabbi him. Why are signs not sent down from Muhammad's Lord? Not their Lord, Muhammad's Lord. May Rabbi him. See the height of ignorance. إنما أنت منذر ولكن قوم الهادين. Innama anta munzirun. Innama anta munzirun. Let's stop there first. Uh, but thou art truly a warner. But thou art truly a warner. You are only coming, Muhammad is only coming to warn you, but not to bring signs from his Lord. He's obeying the Lord. The Lord didn't say, I'm giving you signs when you get to them. No, he says, go and warn them. Innama anta muslim, you are a warner. Walakinna qawmil hadin. Walikulli qawmil hadin. Walikulli qawmin hadin. Walikulli qawmin hadin. And to every people a guide, and to every people a guide. So Muhammad is a warner to us as well as a guide to us. And the guide is here, this book, and a guide to us. And let's go to sign 1111, 1811. Let's go to sign 1811. I think it's better when I use my light. Sign 1811. After all, the signs that have just been mentioned, after all the signs that have just been mentioned, it is mere fractiousness. It is merely fractiousness to say, bring down a sign. Fractiousness is spelled F-R-A, sorry, fractiousness is spelled Fractiousness. It's mere fractiousness to say, bring down a sign in inverted commas. Full stop. Al-Mustafa, that's the chosen one, that's Muhammad, brought signs and credentials as other prophets did, and like them, refused to satisfy the mere idle curiosity. Refused to satisfy mere idle curiosity. So they come, bring us a table, Ma'ida, with wine, with food for us to see. That's mere curiosity. Oh, pardon me for laughing. Oh, I love this, some of these commentaries. All right, that's sign 7, and the last sign of the first section, and that's chapter 13. I didn't even tell you this name, Arada, and this section that the surah is called Arada, or thunder. Arada, or thunder. Pardon me for that. I should have done that earlier. So section surah 13 is called Arada. In English, thunder. Surah 13, Arada, thunder. Thank you very much. Ila lika, bye-bye. Au revoir. May God be with you all.